Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So in this video, in the sorting techniques, next we will learn about shell sort. So in the previous video, we have seen the insertion sort, and we can tell more about shell sort. Shell sort is a kind of variation of insertion sort, or we can say it's a generalized version of insertion sort. So in this shell sort, we first sort the element that are far apart from each other or far apart from a specific gap, and we successfully reduce it on the basis of small gaps, and then it reduces the intervals between the elements to be sorted. So what I mean is, it basically sorts, compares an element with the other element as both are particularly in same gap distance, or I would say, and on that basis of that gap, we compare every element with the other element on the other side or on the basis of that gap. So like, let's suppose I have an array of size of 8, then my gap would be n by 2. So 8 by 2 is 4. So in first iteration I would take my gap as 4, then I would compare 0th element with the fourth one, first with the fifth, second with the sixth, and third with the seventh one. So I see my size of the array is 8 and I took gap as 4, so I compared it with every fourth element. Okay, next I will be dividing that 4 by 2, so in my next iteration my gap will be reduced on the basis of n by 2. Like earlier it was 4, then on next iteration it became 2, and after all comparison finished, it will be then 2 by 2, n by 2 equal to, okay, so 2 by 2 is 1, then every first element I will be comparing. So this algorithm breaks an original sets into a smaller subsets, and then each of these are sorted using the insertion sort. Okay, so let's take an example and let's do the dry run also to have a better understanding of this sort. Okay, so we will take an array here. So shell sort we will be doing, and I will be taking an array. So my array would be 70, 66, 52. Okay, so this is my array, and size would be 8. So size would be 8. So like I told you, in insertion sort, uh, it basically resembles insertion sort because it in the insertion sort we have seen, we take a key, and on the basis of that key we compare every adjacent element, and in shell sort also it resembles quite similar to the insertion sort, but it take a gap, and our gap is basically n by 2. So n is here 8, so 8 by 2 equal to 4, and on the basis of that gap we compare. So our zeroth here is 70, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So my zeroth will be compared with the fourth one, first with fifth one, second with sixth, third with the seventh one. So here are the gap is 4, and on the basis of that gap I will be doing the comparison, and on this basis of comparison then we will be doing the swapping. Okay, so now if I compare my 0th with 4, so it would be, is my 70 greater than the fourth element, that is 22? Yes it is, so we will do the swapping. So now my 22 comes here, and 66 is here, 52 is here, 41 is here, 70 goes here, 27 up here, 28 up here, and 91 up here. Okay, so this would be the array after the comparison. Next I will be comparing first with the, so this portion we have done. Next I will be doing 66 with 27. So is my 66 greater than 27? Absolutely. So I will be doing the swapping. So here my comes 27 and here comes your 66. Next 52 is smaller than, greater than the 28. Yes, so 28 I will be writing here. 52 is here. 41, yes it is. So no, it was not. So I can see 41 is already smaller than the 91, so we'll not compare, will not swap, not the comparing. So here we done 58 28. Okay, so this was the first iteration. Okay, so first iteration we have done, so where our gap was 4. Next we will do n by 2, so 4 by 2 is 2, so our gap would be 2. So I will be comparing 22 with 41, then I will be comparing 66 with 70. I will be comparing 20, not the 66, 27, 28 with 27, 41 with 52, 71 with 91. Okay, so in this way. Now let's do 22. So is my 22 greater than 28? No, it's not. So I will be storing it in the original position. Okay, so it is here. So okay, let's also make the notes for this. So 0 would be compared with 2, 1 with 3, 2 with 5, 3 will be comparing with 7. Okay, now my 0 here is 22. 22 greater than the second 28? No, no swapping. Is my 27 greater than the 41? No swapping. Is my 28 greater than 27? Just a moment. Second is here. 3, 4, 5. What did I miss here? Second would be with 4 if I do, and 3 would be with 5, and 4 would be with 7. Okay, so 22 would be, 28 would be compared with the 70. No. Now 41 with 27. Yes, we, it is true. So now our array becomes like this: 22, it would be 27, 28, and here we will be writing 27. Okay, and then 70 would be here. 41 goes to its position. Here we have written 41. If my 41 is greater than 27, it's not the 27, it's 66. Okay, I have mistakenly, okay, no, it's not. So it's good, we are good actually. So I'm just erasing these, so we are good here. 41, then 70, then 66, so we are good. And 66 after this, 52 and 91. Okay, now 41 we have done. 70 and 52 needs to be compared. We see 52 is smaller than 70, then we will do a swap. So here our array becomes 22, 27, 28, 41, 70, not the 70, just let me erase, 52 and 66, 70 and 91. Okay, so we have seen this. Let's not do this line because it's quite awkward. So we see, we usually compare on the basis of gap. So you see this array is sorted now. I have taken 2 as my gap here. Okay, so 0 was this, then I compared it with the second, then 1 was there, then I compared, then 2 was there, then 3 was there, then 4, similarly 5. Okay, so on the basis of gap we usually compare. Now in the next iteration, n by 2 would be, gap would be my 1. So if any of the elements would have left, though it will still search, the loop will still run and it will compare with every adjacent element, that whether or not these are good or not, or whether uh, any sorting needs to be done. So it will compare. So we see, we do shell sort in this way, like we've taken a gap, and on the basis of that gap we do the comparison and we do the sorting. So the time complexity here would come as big O of n square in worst case. Okay, and space would be big O of 1. Space would be constant linear, because we haven't created any new array or any new data structure. We have only utilized the same array, and in that same array only we compared. Why n square? Because we have taken two loops, we have taken two iterations, so that is why it is n square. Now let's go to the code structure, and you see in this array, or the array that I have taken here, our job done in one iteration only. You see, not one iteration, in same gap. Like my gap was 4, then after every fourth gap I compared with the element, and if it's a small, I do the swapping in the gap of 2 if I compare. But what happen if after gap 2 also, or in the same gap, the elements are not sorted in the one go? So I'll take one of that array where in the same gap we will do multiple comparisons. Okay, so let's open the IntelliJ. Let's do the code part. Okay, so let's start the coding. So let's take an array. So I'll take an array where we know we have to do those comparisons that I was talking about. So because of that, it would be easier for us also to learn more about this type of sort. Okay, so let's start. I'll be writing the static void main method. Inside this I will create my array. I'll take my array as 70, 66. Okay, now we have taken here 10 elements. Earlier it was 8. So I'll just call the shell sort method. Inside that method I will pass my array, and okay, I'll only pass array. Here let's take a static void method. Where I'm expecting an array. Also let's take n also, and n would be size of array dot length. Inside this, first we will run our loop and we'll take gap. So like I've told you, gap is n by 2. Okay, so n would be the size of array, and if this n is greater than 0, okay, gap is greater than 0, not the n, then I'll run till that iteration, and gap divided by 2. Okay, so my first iteration I have taken the gap, and on that basis I will sort my elements. Next I need to take one more loop. So here I'll take I, and I will be equal to gap, yes, and if it's less than n, okay, I'll take a temporary variable. I'll store array of I here, and in j I'll store index value. Okay, now I'll run a while loop, and if my j is greater than equal to gap, and if my array of j minus gap is greater than this temp. Remember, temp is the value of array of I. Array of I would be the that gap. Okay, so then I'll enter into this loop and I'll just put the value of array of j minus gap in this j, and then decrement the j value, and if not, then just came out of this loop and just replace. Okay, so we'll first run this program and then I'll also do a dry run of this code to have a better understanding. I'll just run this. Okay, it will not do anything because I haven't printed the for loop. Now it will work. Okay, we see our array sorted. Now let's put the debug. Let's do the debugging and just I'll put here. Okay, now in the first iteration our gap is n by 2, so my n would be 5. N is 10, so 10 by 2 is 5. Okay, it will run till on the basis of 5 and it will run in this loop. It will run from 5. Okay, I is 5. Now temp is array of 5th index. Okay, my j is 5. If my 5 is greater than 5, yes, 5 is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, now if my this condition is important, you see we got confused here. Array of j minus gap, so j is 5, gap is also 5, 5 minus 5 is 0. Now I have compared this. If my array of j greater than temp, temp is array of I is gap, gap is 5. So if my array of 0th is greater than 5, if my 7 is my 70 greater than 41, yes it is, so we do swap. Now I will just run this. So let's start my debug. Now you have understanding here. So gap is 5, you see. Now temp is array of 5, temp is 41, j is index, so j is 5. Now I have done here a comparison. Is my j greater than equal to gap? 5 greater than equal to 5, yes it is true. Array of j minus gap is 0, 0 greater than array of 5, yes it is true. Then I'll enter inside this for loop. Then I will put array of 0th in array of j in array of 5, and then I'll just decrement the value of gap. So my j, not decrement, and just minus kind of decrement. J minus gap means 5 minus 5 is 0, so j is 0. So inside array of j, array of 0, I'll put temp. So it will just, you see, in array of j it added array of 0th value. So in array of 5 we see 70 here, you see, and now in 70, now in 0th, you see j is 0. Now it again runs the loop. So you see j is 0, 0 greater than no, so it will not true, and it came out of that loop. Now inside my, now in my array of 0th, I'll put the temp. So we can see 41 is there. Okay, so it will compare each and every element on this basis, but I'll just quickly run this because I wanted to show you the second iteration when gap is 2.5 equal to 2. Now I'll just skip this quickly and I'll have, okay, now this was the condition I wanted to show you. Now we see here our gap is 2.5 equal to 2. So now we will run this. Now you see, first it will compare 41 with 27. So it is true, it will just swap it. So you see 27 is swapped. Next it will compare 66 with 22. It is true, it will swap. So you see 22. Now just look at this condition, it will just do. Now we see it does the swapping. 66 is placed at that position. Now I see my j is 1, but 1 greater than equal to 0 condition is not true. Gap is 2. Okay, and so it will just false out this condition, it came out of that loop. Okay, now again it will start. Now it will compare 41 with 10. So this was the condition I wanted to show you guys. 41 with 10. Here my gap is 2. Okay, now here n is, let's again run this iteration till here. I'll run, okay, and I'll stop here. Gap is 2. I is, you can see my I is 4. Automatically j become 4. Array of 4. Array of 4 is 10. Okay, now so my temp is 10. Okay, now it will compare j 4 greater than equal to 2. Correct. Array of j minus gap, my j is 4. So array of 2 greater than array of 4 means array of 2 is 41 greater than 10. Yes, it is correct. Do the swapping. So it will do swap. It will enter inside the while loop. It will swap the position of 41. But again, it will just decrement the value of j. Now you see earlier what was my j? You see j is 4. But now j becomes 2. Why? Because j minus equal to gap. So gap was 2 and my j was 4. 4 minus 2 equal to 2. So now it will compare, is my 2 greater than equal to gap? Yes, it is correct. Is my array of 2 greater than temp? Now what was my temp? Temp is 10. So in 2 I will see array of 2. Array of 2 is 27. J minus gap is, j is 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so is 27 greater than 10? No, it is not true. So it will just skip. Okay, not the 27. Sorry, just why? Okay, I'll just show you. It will not skip. Okay, because it only places the 41 at the position of 10, not 10, because in this position it will place 10. But here we have seen my 41 was there, and it will compare 27 array of 0. What was my array of 0? 27. 27 greater than 10. Get, yes, it was my temp was 10. So it again pushes inside the loop and it will again do the swapping. So you see it does the swapping. Now it comes back to the out of the loop. Now my j becomes 0. So 0 is not greater than equal to gap. So it comes out of that loop and it does the swapping. Now we say 10, 22. I'll just delete this portion and we see. So my current position is here. I is equal to 5, gap is 2. So I equal to 5 is 70. So it will now compare 70 with 57. Okay. So 70 with 57, it will compare. Okay, my gap is 2, I is 5. So I was here 27. Okay. It will compare 66, not 57. So it will compare 66 with 70. So it's already sorted. Next it will compare 41 with 93, already sorted. 70 with 57. So I'll just skip these condition and I'll get to the 70. Okay, now my gap is 2, I is 7, 57. Okay, in 7th position is 57. Now I'll come here. is my j greater than equal to gap 7 is greater than equal to 2? Correct. 7 minus 2, array of 5 greater than 10, so 70 is greater than 57. Yes, it will do swapping. So in array of 7 it will put my 57. Okay, here in array of 7 it will put 57, and my j becomes 7 minus 2 is 5. So here we see it will enter inside the loop. J minus gap is 7 minus 5. So array of fifth my position is 70. 70 it will put inside array of j. Array of j is array of 7. Okay, now it decrement. Now again it goes. It will check again. Is my 5 greater than equal to gap? 5 is greater than equal to 2. Yes, it is correct. Now what it will do, so is my 5 greater than equal to 2? Correct. Is my array of j minus gap 5 minus 2 array of 3 greater than array of temp? What was the value of temp? So temp is 57. So array of 3 0 1 2 3 66. Is my 66 greater than 57? Yes, correct. So it will now transfer 66 to the position and it will put 57 here. Now array of j minus gap. So j is 7. J was 7, but j was now 5. So 5 minus gap is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. So array of third. Array of third is 66. So it will put 66 in array of 5. So 5 is 70. 0 1 2 3 4 5. So it will put here. Okay, now it will again decrement the value of j. So 5 minus 2, j is 3. Now again it will check 3 greater than equal to gap. Correct. Now it will check 3 minus gap 1. Array of 1 greater than temp. What was the value of temp? So temp was 57. So array of 1 0 1. Is my 22 greater than 57? No, this is not correct. So it will come out of loop. And now temp was 7. Array of 7. Array of 7 it was 57. So it will put 57 in array of j. Array of j was 3. So it will put array of j here in 3. So here it will put my 57. Now you see the condition. So in this way we do the shell sort, and on the basis of shell sort it will do the comparison. So this was the condition and step I wanted to tell you and explain you guys. So time complexity also we have talked about. So this was all about the shell sort, and that's it for today guys. And if you do have any query or question, do comment and I will be happy to help. Thank you.